Michael sat in his father's spacious office, looking out at the Taipei skyline through floor-to-ceiling windows. As the CEO of Chun Technologies, he had just finished presenting his latest business strategy to his father, who founded the company 30 years ago. "Father, with our patented technology, we could easily control 90% of the market instead of our current 65%, Michael said, spreading out charts and graphs on the mahogany desk. "We could raise prices by 30%, and customers would have no choice but to buy from us." James, now in his 70s but still sharp as ever, slowly shook his head. "No, son. That's not the way." "But why not?" Michael asked, frustrated. "It's just business. We have the best technology, and we earned our position fairly." James stood up and walked to the window, his reflection overlapping with the city lights below. "Let me tell you a story from when I was your age," he began, his voice soft with memory. "Back in 1985, when I was just starting out, I ran a small electronics shop in Taipei, selling components to local manufacturers. There was another shop owner, Mr. Wu, who had been in business for 20 years. He could have crushed me easily." Michael leaned forward, intrigued. He'd never heard this story before. "One day," James continued, "a major customer came to both our shops. They needed specialized parts for a huge order. Mr. Wu had better connections and could have fulfilled the entire order himself. Instead, do you know what he did?" Michael shook his head. "He called me to his shop after hours. I thought he was going to warn me to stay away from the customer. Instead, he said, 'James, let's split this order. You take 40%, I'll take 60%. You need to grow, and there's enough rice in the bowl for both of us.'" James turned to face his son. "That order helped me establish my business. Without Mr. Wu's kindness, Chun Technologies might not exist today." "But that was different, Father," Michael protested. "You were the small fish then. Now we're the big fish." "Exactly," James said with a smile. "And that means we have an even greater responsibility. Mr. Wu taught me something valuable. Business isn't just about making money. It's about building a healthy ecosystem where everyone can survive and thrive." "But our shareholders want maximum profits," Michael argued. "That's short-term thinking," James replied firmly. "If we squeeze out all competition, what happens? No innovation, no motivation to improve. Eventually, we become lazy and complacent. Plus, if we control everything, the government might step in with regulations. But most importantly," he paused, making sure his son was listening. "Most importantly, other people have families to feed, just like we do. Their children need education, their employees need salaries. We don't need all the rice in the bowl to have a good meal." Michael sat back, pondering his father's words. "So that's why you've always insisted on keeping our price increases modest, even though we could charge more?" "Yes," James nodded. "Look at our company now. We're successful, respected, and our employees are loyal. Other companies compete with us, but they don't hate us. When we needed industry support for our new factory last year, remember how many competitors spoke in our favor at the city council?" Michael remembered how it had surprised him at the time. "That's the true measure of success, son," James concluded. "Not just the money in our bank account, but the respect we've earned and the lives we've touched. Mr. Wu passed away 10 years ago, but his lesson lives on through us." Standing up, Michael walked to join his father at the window. The city below was full of lights, each representing countless businesses, families, and dreams. "I understand now, Father," he said quietly. "Success tastes better when shared." James patted his son's shoulder. "Now you're thinking like a true leader. Tomorrow, let's revise that strategy. We'll focus on innovation and quality instead of market domination. That's how we'll grow sustainably." As they stood together looking out at the city, Michael realized that his father had taught him something far more valuable than any business strategy: the wisdom of compassionate leadership. The next morning, Michael called a meeting with his team. The new strategy would focus on improving their products while keeping prices fair. They would maintain their market leadership not through domination, but through excellence and innovation. Just as Mr. Wu had done for his father years ago, they would leave room for others to grow alongside them. After all, as his father said, There was enough rice in the bowl for everyone. 单字 spacious 宽敞的 adjective large and with a lot of space. Patent 专利的 adjective. A patent invention is protected by law so that only particular people or companies have the right to make or sell it. Mahogany 造家具用的红木桃花心木 Noun A dark red-brown wood used to make furniture. Sharp 精明的敏锐的 adjective. Intelligent or quick to notice things. Ponder 沉思默想 Verb to think carefully about something, especially for a noticeable length of time.